In a vast galaxy filled with strange creatures and powerful leaders, the Galactic Council held an important meeting. This council was made up of representatives from many different alien races. They gathered to discuss a growing concern: humans. Some members were very worried about humans and their unpredictability, while others thought they were just silly creatures from a small planet. The council chamber was buzzing with chatter. The room was circular, with a large screen in the middle showing images of Earth and its people. The leader of the council, a tall alien named Zalthor, raised his hand to silence the crowd. His scales shimmered in the light, and his voice echoed through the room. "We must discuss the threat posed by the humans. They have shown remarkable strength in the past." One alien, a small blue creature named Jinx, laughed. "Threat? Look at them. They are fragile and emotional. We should just ignore them." His words made some council members chuckle. They all thought humans were not worth their attention. But another member, a wise old alien named Eldra, frowned. "You underestimate them, Jinx. I have seen what humans can do when they are pushed too far. They are capable of incredible things." Her eyes, bright and piercing, scanned the room. Many listened, but some were still skeptical. Zalthor nodded. "Eldra speaks wisely. Humans have a history of fighting back against stronger foes. We must be cautious." He paused, letting his words sink in. But Jinx, still unconvinced, leaned back in his chair. "What if we send them a message? Something to show our power and make them fear us?" The room fell silent. Everyone considered Jinx's idea. Zalthor's expression grew serious. "A message? What do you propose?" Jinx smiled mischievously. "Let's send them a hologram, making fun of their weaknesses. We can show them how foolish they are to challenge us." He thought it was a brilliant idea, but many other council members looked worried. Eldra shook her head. Provoking them could lead to conflict. Humans do not back down easily. But Jinx was already set on his plan. He believed that this would prove their strength and keep the council united against humans. Days later, the hologram was prepared. Jinx stood proudly as the message was sent to Earth. In the hologram, aliens laughed at humans, showing ridiculous images of humans tripping and failing at tasks. It was meant to be funny, but it was also insulting. The message echoed through space, reaching Earth quickly. Back on Earth, a group of human diplomats was gathered in a meeting room. They were trying to establish friendly relations with other species. As the hologram played, the room fell silent. The humans watched with wide eyes, anger and confusion spreading among them. One diplomat, a strong-willed woman named Sarah, stood up, her face red with rage. "How dare they? Do they think we are weak?" she exclaimed. The other diplomats murmured in agreement. They were not going to let this insult go unanswered. Instead of cowering, the humans decided to show their true strength. Sarah quickly gathered her team. "We need to respond. Let them know we are not to be messed with." They all nodded, filled with determination. The humans began to prepare their own message, one that would show the aliens just how capable they were. Meanwhile, the council celebrated their successful message, believing they had scared the humans. Jinx felt proud, convinced he had won. But little did they know, they had just awakened a sleeping giant. The humans began to strategize, planning their next moves. They were determined to prove that underestimating them would be the biggest mistake the Galactic Council ever made. As the Council continued to mock humanity, a storm was brewing on Earth. The humans were ready to fight back, and they would not go down without a struggle. In the end, Jinx's dangerous bet would turn out to be a big mistake. The galaxy was about to learn just how powerful humans could be when pushed too far. The Council had opened a door they could never close, and now the stakes were higher than anyone had imagined. The day after the Galactic Council sent their mocking hologram to Earth, the mood was tense in the human embassy. The diplomats gathered around a large screen where the hologram still flickered in the background. Laughter echoed from the aliens, showing humans tripping and stumbling, making fun of their emotions and weaknesses. Sarah, the strong-willed diplomat, felt a fire burning inside her. This was not just an insult, it was a challenge. "We need to show them that we are not just a laughing stock," Sarah declared, her voice steady and fierce. "Humans are resilient, and we won't stand for this." They quickly set to work, forming a plan. They called in their best military leaders, experts in strategy and combat. The atmosphere in the room shifted from anger to determination as they began to brainstorm. Sarah laid out their resources and skills, emphasizing their past achievements. The humans had faced many challenges on Earth, and they had always found a way to overcome them. Meanwhile, back in the Galactic Council chamber, Jinx was feeling proud. He had no idea of the storm brewing on Earth. He turned to Zalthor, who was still watching the humans' response closely. "See? They are afraid. They are probably scrambling to defend themselves," Jinx said with a smirk. Zalthor remained serious. "Do not underestimate them, Jinx. Humans are unpredictable. They might surprise us." But Jinx brushed off the warning, convinced the Council's show of strength had worked. As the humans finalized their response, they decided to broadcast their message across the galaxy. Sarah knew they needed to capture the attention of the Council and show them they were not afraid. They worked tirelessly, creating a hologram of their own. This time it would be powerful and inspiring. When the moment finally arrived, the humans activated their hologram. Bright lights flashed, and a video of human achievements began to play. It showed their history of exploration, courage, and resilience. Images of humans standing together during great challenges flashed across the screen, fighting against nature, exploring the stars, and overcoming disasters. The video ended with Sarah standing strong, addressing the Council directly. "We are not weak," she declared, her voice echoing in the vastness of space. "We are humans, and we will not back down. If you want to test us, be prepared for the consequences. We stand united, and we will show you the strength of humanity." Across the galaxy, the Council members watched in shock. The powerful images of humanity stunned them. Jinx's confidence began to waver. This is not what I expected," he muttered, watching the screen with wide eyes. Zalthor frowned, realizing they might have made a grave mistake. "They are rallying their people. This is not just a response, it is a declaration." Meanwhile, the humans were buzzing with excitement. They felt empowered by their response, their spirits lifted. They had shown the Council that they would not be intimidated. Sarah and her team began to strategize further. They planned military exercises to demonstrate their capabilities and prepared to share their technology with allies. Back at the Council, tension filled the air. Some members were still skeptical of humans, while others began to see them as a serious threat. "We must prepare for what comes next," Zalthor warned. "Humans have shown us they can fight back. We need to be ready for anything." As the Council debated, the humans focused on their next move. They were determined to show the galaxy the true spirit of humanity. With every step they took, they prepared to defend their honor and their planet. The unexpected response had ignited a fire within them, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Little did the Council know that provoking humans would lead to a series of events that would change the course of the galaxy. The stage was set for a conflict that no one could have anticipated. The humans were no longer simply a target. They were a force to be reckoned with, and they would fight fiercely for their place in the stars. In the days following the shocking response from Earth, the tension in the Galactic Council was palpable. The Council chamber, usually filled with laughter and light banter, now echoed with serious discussions and worried glances. Jinx, still feeling the sting of the humans' message, sat quietly as the Council debated their next steps. "Humans are becoming a real threat," Eldra said, her voice steady. "We underestimated their resolve. We must approach them with caution." Many Council members nodded, but Jinx was not convinced. He leaned back in his chair, arms crossed defiantly. "They are only showing bravado," Jinx insisted. "They can't possibly match our strength. We should strike while they are still shaken. Show them who is in charge." Zalthor, the leader of the Council, listened carefully. "Perhaps you are right, Jinx. But we must also consider our actions carefully. If we provoke them further, we might awaken a force we cannot control." The room fell silent as everyone pondered the weight of his words. Meanwhile, on Earth, the atmosphere was different. Excitement and determination filled the air as humans prepared for what they knew was coming. Sarah had become a symbol of resilience and strength. News of the conflict spread rapidly, and people all over Earth were rallying together. Citizens watched the videos of their achievements and felt proud. "Together we can show the galaxy who we are," Sarah announced at a rally. "We must unite. We will train harder, work together, and prepare for any threat. We will not let anyone look down on us." Cheers erupted from the crowd as humans felt a sense of purpose and unity. In the military, officers worked day and night to develop strategies. David, Sarah's right-hand man, was leading the charge. He organized training exercises to prepare soldiers for potential conflict. They practiced advanced combat techniques and simulated battles, honing their skills for the challenges ahead. As days turned into weeks, the humans became more confident. The military grew stronger, and new technologies were developed to aid them. They built new ships designed for speed and agility, ensuring they could navigate the stars efficiently. Meanwhile, news of the humans' preparations reached the Galactic Council. Reports flooded in about Earth's increasing military capabilities and the unity among humans. Jinx's bravado began to fade as he listened to the updates. "We cannot ignore this," Zalthor said, his tone serious. "They are not backing down. We must decide how to handle this situation before it escalates beyond our control." In response, Jinx proposed an aggressive strategy. "Let's launch a preemptive strike. Show them we mean business. They will either bow to our power or face the consequences." His suggestion met with mixed reactions. Some council members feared that an attack would push humans to fight back harder. Eldra stood up again, her expression calm yet firm. "We must think about the long-term effects of our actions. Humans are unpredictable, yes, but they are also clever and resourceful. An attack could lead to an all-out war, and that is not what we want." As debates continued, an unexpected event occurred. A small ship from the Council sent to scout Earth was intercepted by human forces. The humans, on high alert, detected the ship's presence and quickly surrounded it. The crew of the alien ship was terrified as they found themselves caught in a tight spot. The humans boarded the vessel and demanded to speak with its captain. The captain, trembling with fear, explained they were just observing Earth and had no intention of causing trouble. Sarah and David watched this unfold on screens in the command center. "This is a perfect opportunity," David said, eyes sparkling with determination. "We can show them we are serious about protecting our planet." Instead of destroying the ship, they decided to send a message to the Council. They set up a holographic transmission and addressed the Galactic Council. "Let this be a warning," Sarah stated, her voice strong and unwavering. "We will not tolerate any threats against our people. We are prepared to defend ourselves, and we will fight back if necessary." As the message reached the Council, shock rippled through the members. Jinx felt a chill run down his spine. The rising storm was no longer just a distant threat, it was now on their doorstep. The Council faced a critical choice: continue provoking humans or seek a different path. But one thing was clear: the tension was building, and soon, the galaxy would witness the true power of humanity. The storm was rising, and no one knew what would happen next. The air was thick with tension as both the Galactic Council and the humans prepared for the inevitable confrontation. Sarah stood at the command center, her eyes focused on the screens displaying the movements of alien ships approaching Earth. The Council had made their decision. They were coming to settle this once and for all. "David, what's the status on our ships?" Sarah asked, her heart racing. David, busy monitoring communications, looked up. "We have 5 fleets ready for deployment. Each one is equipped with our newest technology. We can defend Earth and fight back if we need to." Sarah nodded, feeling a sense of pride. The humans had come together, united by a common cause. "We will not back down," she said, determination shining in her eyes. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, Jinx was feeling confident. The Council had decided to send a powerful fleet to Earth, showcasing their advanced weapons and technology. "We will show them that we are the dominant force in the galaxy," he boasted to the Council members gathered around him. Zalthor, still cautious, reminded them, "We must avoid unnecessary loss of life. If we attack, we should be strategic." But Jinx dismissed his concerns. A show of strength is what they need. They will understand their place. As the alien fleet approached, a fleet of human ships met them halfway. The two sides stared at each other across the vastness of space. The humans had transformed their ships into a formidable force, adorned with bright colors and symbols of unity. Sarah and David stood on the bridge of their flagship, ready for what was to come. "Open a channel to the Council," Sarah commanded, her voice steady. Moments later, the holographic image of Zalthor appeared on the screen. "Humans, you have challenged the authority of the Galactic Council. We have come to demand your surrender." Sarah's heart raced. "We will never surrender. We will defend our planet and our people. You underestimated us before, and you will not make that mistake again." Her voice echoed through the channel, filled with confidence. Jinx, standing next to Zalthor, laughed. "Look at them, Zalthor! They think they can fight us. They are nothing but children playing with fire." But Zalthor was concerned. "Do not provoke them further. They are ready to fight back. Suddenly, alarms blared as both sides readied their weapons. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation. The humans prepared their defensive systems, while the aliens aimed their weapons at Earth. "Hold your fire!" Sarah ordered, knowing this was a delicate moment. "Let's give them one last chance to turn back. Firing would show weakness," Jinx shouted, glaring at Zalthor. "Strength is not just in weapons, Jinx," Zalthor replied. "We need to prove we are not the villains in this story." Both sides stood in silence for a moment, each waiting for the other to make a move. Then, without warning, an alien ship fired a warning shot across the human fleet. "Prepare for battle," David shouted, adrenaline pumping. "Return fire," Sarah commanded, her heart racing. The humans fired back, their lasers cutting through the void of space. The two fleets clashed in a dazzling display of lights and explosions. Ships danced around each other, dodging and weaving as they exchanged fire. Human ships moved with agility, using their advanced technology to outmaneuver the larger, bulkier alien vessels. Sarah watched with intensity, aware of the stakes. "We cannot let them advance any further," she said. "Protect our home!" As the battle raged on, both sides suffered losses. Alien ships fell from the sky, consumed by flames, while the humans fought fiercely to defend their world. Sarah's determination fueled the human forces, inspiring them to fight harder. "Don't let up! We can win this!" she yelled over the chaos. On the alien side, Jinx watched in horror as the human tactics worked. The humans were not just fighting, they were strategizing and adapting. "They shouldn't be this strong," he shouted, frustration mounting. Zalthor tried to maintain control. "We must retreat. This is not what we planned." But Jinx refused to accept defeat. "No! We cannot show weakness!" In that moment, the battle reached a critical point. The human fleet coordinated a final maneuver, combining their firepower to target the lead alien ship. As the beams converged, the alien vessel erupted in a brilliant explosion. The sight sent shockwaves through the council. "We need to pull back," Zalthor yelled. The humans had turned the tide, proving they were not just a lesser species, but a formidable opponent. The message was clear. Underestimating humans was a grave mistake, and the Galactic Council would have to rethink their strategy. The showdown marked a turning point in the galaxy, with the humans showing they would fight for their existence. The stakes had never been higher, and the battle for the future was just beginning. As the dust settled from the fierce battle, the stars shone bright against the backdrop of space. The battlefield was littered with wreckage from both human and alien ships, a grim reminder of the conflict that had unfolded. On Earth, the atmosphere was a mix of relief and concern. Humans had defended their planet, but the fight was far from over. Sarah stood on the bridge of her flagship, taking in the damage done to her fleet. Around her, the crew worked hard, tending to the wounded and salvaging what they could from the wreckage. David joined her, his face marked with determination. "We did it, Sarah. We pushed them back," he said, a hint of pride in his voice. "Yes, but at what cost?" Sarah replied, her heart heavy. "We lost ships, and many brave souls fought hard today. We need to honor their sacrifice." As they discussed their next steps, a signal came in from the Galactic Council. It was Zalthor, looking weary but determined. "Humans, we wish to open a channel for dialogue. We have suffered losses, and this conflict has gone too far." Sarah's eyes widened in surprise. "A dialogue? After all this?" "We were wrong to underestimate you," Zalthor admitted. "Your bravery in battle has shown us that humans are not to be taken lightly. We propose a truce." Sarah shared a glance with David, uncertainty filling the air. "What do you mean by truce?" she asked. "We must find a new path forward," Zalthor continued. "The Galactic Council is willing to negotiate terms that will benefit both parties. We can avoid more bloodshed and explore a future together." The idea intrigued Sarah, but she was cautious. "What guarantees do we have that you won't betray us again?" Zalthor nodded, understanding the weight of her words. "Trust takes time, and we know it will not be easy. But we wish to create an alliance, one based on mutual respect. You have shown strength, and we can learn from each other." After much discussion, Sarah agreed to the truce. "Let's set a meeting. We need to establish clear terms, so we both know what to expect moving forward." With that, the two sides began planning a summit to discuss their future. As humans prepared to meet with the Council, they felt a mixture of hope and apprehension. This was an opportunity for peace, but it also came with the risk of betrayal. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council convened to discuss the new terms. Jinx, still furious about the battle, struggled to accept the change. They shouldn't have beaten us. We cannot just back down now. But Eldra, always the voice of reason, spoke up. Jinx, fighting will lead to our destruction. The humans have proven themselves. If we continue to provoke them, we will face more losses. A new path is necessary. Reluctantly, Jinx agreed to participate in the negotiations, realizing that his earlier arrogance had cost them dearly. As the meeting day approached, both sides prepared themselves. Humans and aliens alike arrived at the designated location, a neutral space station orbiting a distant planet. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. Sarah and David entered the meeting chamber, flanked by military and diplomatic personnel. Zalthor and his council members awaited them, tension hanging in the air. "Welcome, humans," Zalthor began, his voice steady. "We come here to build a future together." As they discussed their terms, both sides spoke earnestly. Sarah emphasized the need for respect and cooperation, while Zalthor outlined the council's willingness to share knowledge and resources. Gradually, walls began to break down. Both sides realized they had much to learn from each other. They shared their stories, their struggles, and their dreams for the future. The dialogue continued for hours, but by the end of the day, a new agreement was in sight. They decided to form a coalition, focusing on shared interests and mutual protection. As they shook hands, a sense of hope filled the room. This was the beginning of a new era. Back on Earth, news of the truce spread like wildfire. Humans celebrated their victory, but now they had something greater to look forward to, a future without conflict. Sarah watched the celebrations from her command center, her heart swelling with pride. "We did this together, David. We took a stand. And now we have a chance to create something beautiful." David smiled. "Yes, but we must remain vigilant. This is just the start. In the days to come, humans and aliens worked together, forging bonds that would change the galaxy. The risks of provoking humans had become clear, but now there was a new understanding, a path forward where both sides could thrive. The stars had aligned for a future filled with possibility, and the galaxy would never be the same again.